International Lovely Profession University.
Nice to meet you.
Same here, sir. Same here. Thank you.
Great. I miss India though. Rafi brought me there a year ago, I think. Is that correct, Rafi?
Prof. Echo, we are missing your
same way we miss Indonesia too. Indonesia is a very lively place. We miss coming to Indonesia.
Yeah.
We also have with us Dr. Laviraj Gupta, who is the head of the executive head for the Faculty of Technology and Sciences. Good afternoon, Dr. Laviraj, sir.
Good afternoon, Aman, and good afternoon, Professor Echo.
Hi, good afternoon, Professor Laviraj Gupta.
So it's good to see your energy and enthusiasm, Professor Echo.
Oh yeah, of course.
we are all excited to share some of our understandings with all of you.
Great. We like it so much.
Yeah.
I also wanted to introduce Dr. Sunaina, who has put on this whole program for all of us, and Mr. Quatra. Please come in. So these are the two resource people who have been able to put the whole show together for all of us and has brought all of us together. I really hope that it's going to be a great show. We are just waiting for more participants to join us. And as soon as the participant joins us, we will start the show. So Ravi, you will be taking care of it to the initial part, and then it was their game. So we are all excited about it.
Yeah, same here. Thank you. Thank you for everything.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Monsieur.
Thank you so much, Professor Echo. I know you are very busy, but still you took out time, Prof. We really appreciate that, Prof. Thank you so much.
No worry.
Yeah. Selamat datang, Ibu Dwiza. Ibu.
Selamat datang, Pak Raffi. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Bu Dwiza.
Being safe, healthy and safe. Hello, Prof. Eko. Thank you.
Hai, Bu
Terima
Dwiza.
kasih.
Thank you.
Luar biasa semua.
Maybe we'll just wait for a couple of more minutes, Prof.
Yeah.
Dr. Sunaina, ma'am, can we just wait for a couple of more minutes, ma'am, and then we can start?
Yeah, as you say.
Yeah. Thank you. Sarabjit sir, from LPO, are we ready, sir?
We are ready whenever you're ready, sir. So you got all the host rights, so please admit all the people.
Sir. Prof. Echo, how is the situation, Prof. Echo, of the Corona, Prof, the Jakarta, Prof?
Now I'm closer to my wife and my children.
Okay. I think that's the best answer I could get, Prof.
Never been better with that regard, you know.
True, Prof. Very true, Prof. I mean, Corona has really made us very closer to our families here, Prof.
Yeah.
Pak Raffi.
Yes, Ibu.
Good afternoon, Pak Raffi. Is Pak Ali here already?
Yes, Ibu. Ibu Desi, apa kabar, Bu?
Baik, alhamdulillah. Pak Ali,
Thank you so much,
Pak
Ibu.
Ali. Terima kasih, Pak Ali sudah ada di sini belum ya?
Kali mau
Lagi
kodas.
cariin Bu, 1 minute. I'm just checking. Kayaknya
Nah,
masih belum Bu.
sama India. Oh, belum ya, sebentar. I'll try to remind him ya.
Ya please ya Bu. Ya terima kasih Bu.
Ya,
Thank
oke,
you.
thank you.
Ya makasih Bu.
Ravi,
Yes Prof.
family is number one. The rest are just one Zoom away.
Once. Okay. Very true, Prof. Very, very true. Yeah. Family number. I'll remember that, Prof. Whenever I meet you, I get something which I really remember all my time, Prof. So family number one and Zoom is all. I mean, everyone else is one Zoom away. I
Yeah.
remember that now. Bapak Ibu yang kita terhormat, very sorry to keep you all waiting. We're just accepting few more participants. We will just start in a couple of more minutes. Our apologies to keep you all waiting. Yeah, terima kasih. Thank you. Bapak Ibu, just to inform you all, we have a total of 550 teachers who have registered for this particular webinar. As of now, we still have only 129. So we'll just wait for 2 more minutes, Bapak Ibu. I know we are getting late. So we'll just wait for 2 more minutes and then we will start and we will accept the others as they come in. Thank you so much. Terima kasih. Ibu Desi, I think Pak Ali udah masuk, Bu.
Alright.
Ya.
Alright.
Ya, selamat
Let's get
datang
Pak
Pak
Ali.
Ali.
Assalamualaikum. Selamat datang Pak Ali.
Ya, makasih Bu Desi.
Iya, Pak Haji. Monggo silakan. Ini adalah Pak Raffi, sponsor kita untuk mengadakan workshop pada hari ini. Dan kita ada
Selamat siang Pak Ali dan terima kasih banyak ya Pak untuk dukungannya Pak. Thank you so much ya Pak for coming.
Terima kasih, sama-sama.
Ya, ini sama Pak. Langsung.
Ya.
Oke,
Saya
monggo
sama
silakan.
Pak Raffi ini sebenarnya sering kontak-kontakan, cuman saya nggak tahu orangnya kayak apa.
Orangnya ganteng Pak Haji.
Ganteng.
Ya, kalau Bu Desi cantik.
Iya.
Kalau Pak Raffi dibilang cantik kan repot.
Enggak, sama-sama Pak. Sarabjit sir, can we start sir now? I think from the ministry also we have Pa Ali already with us now.
Yes. Yes.
Sarabjit sir, can we start sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, greetings, salamat, siang, namaste. A very good afternoon to all of you all. Let me please welcome you all today to today's webinar, come workshop, short-term course, The Art of Virtual Teaching from the 26th of October until the 28th of October. Bapak Ibu, please allow me to introduce myself. Nama saya Raffi Makhija. Asalnya dari India Bapak Ibu, but udah lama tinggal di Indonesia, udah 20 tahun. Jadi bisa omong bahasa Indonesia Bapak Ibu. And also I'm the promoter of Indian education in Indonesia and also the representative of LPU University in Indonesia. Please allow me to welcome Mr. Aman Mittal, the additional director, and also the head from the Division of International Affairs. Welcome, sir, and thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you. Also, please allow me to welcome Pa Ali Mokodas, the head of the schools, SMA, SMP from the curriculum from the Dinas Pendidikan DKI Jakarta. Pa Ali, selamat datang, Pak. Also, please allow me to welcome Professor Dr. Eko Indrajit, MSc, MBA, MPhil, MA. Prof. Eko is also the president of PGRI Indonesia and also the rector of Pradita University. Very warm welcome, Prof. Eko, and thank you so much, Prof, for coming online.
Thank you, Ravi. Thank you.
Also, please allow me to welcome the dignitaries from Apicom Pusat, Professor Eri Wibowo, Dr. Nina Hikmawati, Dr. Wendy Usino, Director of Universitas Budi Luhur. Also, please allow me to welcome the dignitaries from Apticom DKI Jakarta, Dr. Muhammad Wayudi, and also Ibu Dwiza Riana. Also, please allow me to welcome the speakers and the respected trainers for the 3-day workshop. Dr. Laviraj Gupta, the Executive Dean from the Faculty of Technology and Science. Welcome, sir. Also, please allow me to welcome Dr. Sunena Ahuja, Professor and Associate Dean of HRDC from LPU. Welcome, ma'am. Also, Mr. Sarabjit Singh Quatra, the Deputy Dean from HRDC LPU. Ms. Malvinder Gill, the Deputy Dean, Head of the Department Counseling and Happiness Cell. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, also please allow me to welcome Ibu Yeni and Ibu Desi Purnama from MGMP Bahasa Inggris from DKI Jakarta. Also the associations of MP and MKBK from the Bogor, Tangerang, Bekasi. Also the teachers from PGRI Indonesia and all other teachers from the province of DKI Jakarta, Bogor, Tangerang, and Bekasi. Once again, welcome you all to today's workshop with the title Short-Term Course, The Art of Virtual Teaching. Bapak Ibu, before we move ahead, may I all request you all to please stand in front of your computers for the National Anthem of Indonesia, followed by the National Anthem of India. Yeah, may I please ask you all to please stand up. Thank you.
Namaste. On behalf of lovely Professor University and Tie-Ups International, I welcome the esteemed audience. Saya menewak para hadirin yang terhormat. So let us begin this auspicious journey by rising for the national anthems, both of Indonesia and India, to strengthen the bond. So, requesting you all to please stand. Requesting everyone to please mute yourself for the solemn ceremony.
Bapak Ibu yang kita hormat, tolong berdiri Bapak Ibu karena kita mau ada lagu bangsa Indonesia dengan lagu bangsa India. Terima kasih.
Disuruh berdiri.
Tanah airku karena tumpah darah. Indonesia kebangsaan जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जगत तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Yeah, thank you so much, Bapaibu. Thank you so much for standing up for the national anthem. May I now request all the participants, Bapaibu, please switch off your microphones so that we don't disturb the training session. Thank you so much. Terima kasih semuanya. Okay, Bapaibu, to move forward for today's webinar, may I now request Mr. Aman Mittal for his welcoming remarks, who is the additional director and also the head of the division of international affairs from lovely Professional University, Punjab. Sir, the screen is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just give me 1 second before I start sharing my screen.
Sure, sir.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. How are you? So it's my pleasure to be here this afternoon, and I think it's a very interesting day when Indonesia and India are sharing one mutual learning of education that's happening during this pandemic time, COVID. Though we wanted to do this seminar face to face, but I think things have changed over time, and we are very excited to do a short-term course on the art of virtual learning with Indonesian faculty who are coming from various schools, various universities of Indonesia, and they're coming from different islands of the country. So, Salamat Siang and Namaste to the Indonesia and India collaboration and relations that has been there for really long time. And I also want to welcome Ali Mukadas, Head of School, SMSM, from Minister of School of Education and Province of DK Jakarat, Professor Dr. Eko Indrajit, MSc, MBA, MPhil, President PGRI, Apticom Pusat, Professor Eri, Dr. Nina Chaveli, Apticom DKJ, Dr. Muhammad Mahyuti, Dr. Diliza Riana, teachers from province of DKI, Jakarta, Bogor, Tangerang, Bekasi, and province. And most importantly, I want to welcome Ravi Makhija, the founder and the promoter of TIEPS Indonesia, who has been instrumental in making this whole program a success and also bringing all of us together. So thank you, Ravi, for organizing this thing. India and Indonesia has a very strong bond, both as politically, culturally, as well as through commercial. I was reading about Indonesia, and I've experienced it myself when I was in Indonesia, that how Indian mythology like Ramayana and Mahabharata is still being worshipped and read by or understood by people of Indonesia. And commercially, Indonesia is the second biggest ASEAN collaborator of India. They kind of share that Indonesia and India share. It's second in ASEAN. It's a very big thing. And I also know for the fact that Indian television is so popular in Indonesia that even people in Indonesia have sung so many songs in Indian languages and this thing. But I think it is very important that one of the important area, which is education, the cooperation has to be enhanced in the area of cooperation too. Though we know it between India and Indonesia culturally, commercially, and also through society by means of television. I think it's important to strengthen the bond of education between both the countries. And I think uh, this is a great opportunity when this could be done. And not many people know about the Indian higher education system. It is the second largest education system in the world, and the largest just after the USA in terms of the English teaching system. And today, the Indian origin and Indian educated people are leading many of the top companies of the world. If you know about the CEO and the chairman of Microsoft, Pepsi, Google, and many of the leaders in Apple, they are Indian origin people who have studied from India and they have made the mark across the world. I mean, this is the strength of the Indian education system, and it is good time that both India and Indonesia are talking about it and taking it forward. Many people know that Indian education system is only about IT. So I've also given the example of most of the IT companies, but I think it's not only the IT. I mean, talk about business, talk about aerospace, talk about the engineering, talk about hotel management, pharmaceuticals, physiotherapy, or fashion, or whatever. I think the Indian education system is leading the game. It's considered to be one of the best, not only in India, not in Asia, but across the world. And that's the strength of Indian education system that needs to be promoted all across the world. And happy that this is being done through a very practical way of teaching together. Uh, I'm glad that this promotion of collaboration between India and Indonesia is happening through Lovely Professional University. LPU is the largest university of India, and it's a people know more Lovely Professional University as LPU, and it's really a lovely university. I mean, you can see this picture, you can see this beautiful LPU campus and a huge infrastructure all across. Just wanted to give a quick facts about LPU. As I told you, it is the largest university of the country. It's spread across 600 acres of land, 243 hectares. In Indonesia, I've been told that the campuses are not as huge, but if you come here, you will see that how huge this campus is. And it is one of the most modern campus infrastructure, not only in India, but in Asia. We have 35,000 full-time students who study with us in the university. 35,000 students at one time get the education in my campus. We have 3,000 plus international students coming from 50 plus countries, including Indonesia. We've been very fortunate that over the last years, we have taught many of the Indonesian students who have come here to study IT, hotel management, fashion, even in the engineering field. So I'm very fortunate that even the Indonesian students have experienced LP education systems. We are very strong on research. We offer 200 programs in 40 plus disciplines, and we are ranked among the top university in India for teaching and research. And we have one of the highest student satisfaction percentage in India. So this is the most important factor, that how much I say that I'm the best, but if the student says that I'm happy to study in the university, that's the most important factor for me. We are also among the only university in India to host the Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the campus, where he came to inaugurate the world's largest science conference, where 3 Nobel laureates, 5 union ministers, and almost 20,000 scientists came in. So that's the strength of LPU, that people from like Prime Minister Modi has also visited the campus, and we are among the only private university to do so. Not going much into details, I know there's a lot of needs to be covered by our faculty, but I think COVID is something which we understand that has created havoc across the globe. So many people have lost their lives. So such a huge loss to the economy. So many people have lost their jobs, and I think I just hope and pray to God that we never get to see this thing similar again. But one thing is that COVID has told us one thing, that change is something which you need to accept. People who used to think that they are there forever, they now realize that change is the most important thing. And you know, education sector, we are all belonging to education sector. We have been very deeply impacted. You know, the classes were shut, the universities were shut, the schools were shut. But I think one thing did not shut, at least at LPU, the education. Though the classes were shut, but the education did not shut. And LPU became the world leader in offering the online education system even during this pandemic. LPU became very first in a lot of areas during this pandemic. We created our own online teaching system, which my colleagues will showcase to you during these 3 days of sessions. We became the first university to start the online classes in India. We became the first university to conduct exams online. We became the first university to conduct our university admission test online. And we became the first university even to start our new session for the year 2020 online. And all this is possible because we were ready for the change. We were ready to accept the change. We were ready to accept the challenge. And that is why we've been able to create this program also for such a large number of people from Indonesia in such a short time, because that's what LPU is. It is ready to accept challenges. I'm sure this course is going to give you a very unique glimpse of what we have done during this pandemic and how we have taken the virtual teaching forward. We have a very unique system of human resource development. And I think this is a very unique model by which we train our faculty or prepare our faculty for the future. We would love to showcase the same thing. And we want to put this point forward that online teaching can be as effective as face-to-face teaching, but this needs to be learned because neither our teachers nor our students have actually done this online teaching before. And one more important thing, online teaching is not about Zoom or Google Meet. It's about connection and collaboration. And I'm sure during this course, you're going to learn more about online teaching and how to make our virtual classes more effective. So saying this, I really hope you're going to make the best use of this course, which is delivered by LPU's best training resources here. So best of luck, terima kasih, and I hope you're going to enjoy this course. Thank you, Ravi. I give it back to you to take it forward. Thanks, everyone, and hope you're going to enjoy this course.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot for your opening remarks, and we really appreciate the support from LPU, sir, for organizing this webinar. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot once again. Okay, Bapak Ibu, so let's move forward now. May I now request Pa Ali Mukodas, the head of the school's SMA SMP from the curriculum from Dinas Pendidikan DKI Jakarta, to please give his opening remarks. Pa Ali, the screen is yours.
Ya, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam, Pak.
Selamat siang. Salam sejahtera buat kita semua. Bapak Ibu yang saya hormati, yang tidak bisa saya sebutkan satu persatu, saya tidak hafal satu-satunya. Alhamdulillah, puji syukur kita panjatkan kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala atas pertemuan kita pada siang hari ini. Pertemuan dalam rangka untuk meningkatkan kompetensi teman-teman guru bahasa Inggris. Dimana kalau dilihat dari temanya adalah bagaimana kita melakukan pembelajaran seni belajar virtual. Seni mengajar virtual. Memang pada saat ini kita situasi pandemi ini mau tidak mau kita harus melewati dengan semua virtual, dengan semua kegiatan aktivitas secara virtual, sehingga bagaimanapun juga kita memang harus suka tidak suka, kita harus mempersiapkan diri. untuk selalu mengupgrade kemampuan kita dalam pembelajaran secara virtual atau pembelajaran jarak jauh. Bapak Ibu, pertama tentunya saya mengucapkan banyak terima kasih kepada ini kepada apa ini ya, LPU ya, yang sudah memfasilitasi adanya kegiatan webinar ini. Dan tentunya kegiatan ini pasti bermanfaat buat teman-teman yang ada di sekolah. Dan sekali lagi mudah-mudahan kegiatan ini bisa berkesinambungan, bisa berkelanjutan, supaya teman-teman di sekolah bisa meningkatkan kompetensinya. Atas nama Dinas Pendidikan, sekali lagi kami mengucapkan terima kasih. Dan terima kasih kepada seluruh narasumber atas sharing ilmunya, sehingga teman-teman nanti bisa lebih meningkatkan kompetensinya lagi dalam pembelajaran. Mungkin itu saja yang bisa saya sampaikan. Kurang lebihnya mohon maaf. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Halo.
Ya, terima kasih banyak ya Pak Ali. Thank you so much Pak. Thank you so much for your
Terima
welcoming
kasih
remarks, and kita harap
Terima
kita ada
kasih
banyak
banyak, Pak
kolaborasi
Ali.
antara kita sama Dinas Pendidikan ya Pak. So thank you so much
sama.
Pak. Ya, terima kasih banyak Pak
Saya
Ali.
izin
Thank
live
you so
ya.
much.
Saya izin ya.
Iya,
Ada
terima
acara
kasih
lagi
banyak.
soalnya.
Ya, terima kasih banyak Pak Haji. Makasih.
Oke, sorry ya.
Ya, terima kasih ya Pak. Thank you so much Pak. Terima kasih. Thank you. Okay, Bapak Ibu, to move forward now, may I now request an opening remarks from Prof. Eko Indrajit. Prof. Eko Indrajit is the president of PGRI Indonesia and also the rector of Pradita Universitas Indonesia. Prof. Eko, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Rafi. A little bit clarification, Rafi.
Yeah.
I'm not actually the president. The president is Professor Unifa.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
the president of PGRI Smart Learning and Character Center.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Prof.
I'm
Maaf ya, Prof. So
representing.
sorry.
No, no worry, no worry. You are my brother.
Thank you.
Rafi, should I use English or Indonesia to address all of you?
Anything, Prof. English.
Anything will do, yeah?
Yeah, Prof. Yes, Prof.
Okay, first of all, I would like to say welcome to all of you, especially our fellow from India, from the lovely university, yeah? Lovely professional university. I never been there because when I was in India, Rafi didn't bring me there. So Rafi, you have to bring me to that wonderful places in India. So welcome to Jakarta. Greeting for all of you. Especially, I want to mention one by one. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Mr. Aman Mittal, Dr. Lofi Raj Gupta. Is that correct?
Yes, Prof.
Dr. Suraina Ahuja. And then Mr. Sarajit Quatra. And Ms. Malvinder Gill. Okay, Gill, yeah? My name is Eko. In Indonesia, they call me Eko. But when I'm in India, they call me Indrajit. Because that is my last name. My last name is Indrajit. And also, I want to say hi to all of my friends, my colleague, Professor Eri, Dr. Nina, Dr. Brisa, Dr. Wendy, and my friend, Dr. Muhammad Wahyudi. On behalf of Indonesian teachers, from the Association of Indonesian Teachers, I would like to extend my appreciation and thanks for this wonderful moment. I really like the topics of this one because for the last 6 months, Ravi, I told to all teachers that conducting learning in the virtual environment is not just a science, it's more of the art. It's the science and art of conducting learning and teaching in the virtual environment. I myself, for the last 6 months, already engaged with more than 30,000 teachers. Every day I have to conduct 4 to 6 webinars to help Indonesian teachers not just go to the next level, but to adapt with the new situation. But in any situation, my parents always teach me, let's take a bright side of it. I told to the teachers, the future came earlier than we thought. That's correct, Ravi?
Yes, Prof.
we think before that e-learning will be there in a massive situation in 2030 in Indonesia. But suddenly it happens now. So the future came earlier. It means we have to be able to adapt and to adopt ourselves with this new environment. So through this workshop, 3-day workshop, I believe there are many things that can be learned by Indonesian teachers from our fellows, our friends from India. I believe those experiences and experiments can be also be adopted in our country in Indonesia. Bapak, Ibu, Guru, all teachers in Indonesia, we know that the focus of education is the learners, our students. So we have to be able to give them the best thing that we could do. The first thing in the art of virtual teaching is smiling. Smiling is very important, because when you smile in Zoom, you bring a positive aura to our students. Don't forget to smile, and be careful in operating your microphone, unless your family secret will be revealed to all over Indonesia, all over the world. Now, number 2, the engagement is the very important thing. Yeah, every time I conducting doing Zoom, doing You Meet Me, doing Google Meet, and also the YouTube, I always randomly check their name. I always ask I always say them their name, because I can see your name. Like today we have Ibu Joyce Purba, correct? We have Pak Widya, we have Pak Albertus Joko, we have Ibu Vina. Yeah, whoever I can greet them, I can greet them. So there's another art of virtual teaching. By the end of the day, I think, Rafi, things will be very different after the pandemic. We will have the environment that full with blended learning. Offline and online, synchronous and asynchronous. So, para guru, teachers all over Indonesia, let's have a great workshop. And it is also my wish that one day, we all teachers will sharing our experience to the Indian teachers. So our collaboration will become very fruitful, and let's pray together that this pandemic will be end. I always talk to all teachers in Indonesia, we have to prepare for the worst, but we pray for the best. So thank you so much for everything. Have a wonderful and fruitful workshop, and I'll be there with you virtually. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Eko. Thank you so much, Prof. It's always, Prof. You're always very inspiring, Prof. And I really love always to hear you, Prof. So thank you so much, Prof. And just to say something, Prof, that our contribution also, Prof, towards the pandemic is that we have taken an initiative to train all the 34 provinces of Indonesia, Prof.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so as of now, we have finished 9 provinces.
Okay.
In fact, next week we have Kalimantan Selatan. After that, we finished Gorontalo. We finished last week.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so we are trying to play our role, Prof, by trying to support the teachers from all the 34 provinces. And our target is by end of January, we should be able to cover all the provinces, Prof. And your support in that would be highly appreciated, Prof. Thank you so much.
Okay, 34 provinces means you are in the 34 islands. So you still have 17,000 islands to go, yeah?
Yes, Prof. Yes, Prof. Long way to go, but I'm sure, Prof, we'll get there.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you so much, Prof. Once again for all your support. Really appreciate that, Prof. Thank you so much. Okay, Bapa Ibu, I think we are running a little short of time. So we had some videos to be played, but I think we will play that probably tomorrow. So now, without further delay, Bapa Ibu, please allow me to introduce the two speakers for today's session. The first speaker is Dr. Sunaina Ahuja. Hi, ma'am. Dr. Sunaina Ahuja is motivated and talented professor of organizational behavior and human resource development at Lovely Professional University, Mittal School of Business, ACBSP accredited and ranked among the top 50 business schools in India by National Institute of Ranking Framework in 2020. Dr. Ahuja has a qualification of PhD, and she has been working with LPU for quite some time. Currently, she is the Associate Dean and the head of the Human Resource Development Center from Lovely Professional University. A very long profile, Papaibu, but due to the shortage of time, I'll just make it very brief. Also, please allow me to introduce the second speaker for today, Mr. Sarabjit Singh Quatra. He is the Deputy Dean from the Human Resource Development Center, and he's been with LPU also for quite some time, and he's currently the Deputy Dean since August 2019 until now. Okay, so Bapaibu, without further delay, let us continue with the main topic for today's webinar workshop. Bapaibu, it's not a webinar because based on my discussion with LPU, Bapaibu, I've been informed that we want to make it an interactive session. We also want to make sure that we learn by experience. It's just not a one-way communication. So that is the reason, Bapaibu, this webinar is not going to be a webinar, but it's going to be a workshop. And the further details will be provided by Dr. Sunaina and the other speakers from LPU. So thank you so much once again, Dr. Sunaina Ahuja. Ma'am, the screen is yours. Just one small request, Bapak Ibu yang kita terhormat, please make sure your microphones are switched off so that it does not disturb the speakers. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Thank you. Ma'am, the screen is yours. Ma'am, your microphone is muted.
Mute. Mute. Or unmute.
It's unmuted now. Right. It's done. So F5. Yeah. Thank you, Raviji. Thank you. Thanks for the kind introduction. A very good afternoon to all the participants. I hope I'm audible to you. Can I have a signal? Am I clearly audible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right.
You're audible.
Right. Thank you. I welcome and appreciate your presence in the short-term course on the art of virtual teaching organized by Lovely Professional University. Well, friends, your joining this course is an indication of your commitment towards the profession. So I believe you are the lot who are not satisfied with the status quo. You are the lot who want to work on yourself so that this benefit can be passed on to our students. So first of all, I'll give a big round of applause to all the participants present here. Right. And I look forward to your response throughout this session. I, along with my colleague, Mr. Sarabjit Singh Kawatra, will be taking the first session, which is focusing on effective strategies for virtual teaching. So I'll start with a quote, which says that the best teachers are those who show you where to look, but don't tell you what to see. So I believe you are the teachers who are giving a direction to your students, but not limiting their vision. You are allowing them to explore the world. Uh, as Mr. Aman Mittal said, that we at Lovely Professional University were faced with a jolt in the middle of March when we came to know that the university is not going to be operational. I remember the day, it was 15th of March. A notification came and all the students were sent home. Within a couple of days, on the 22nd of March, as you all know, there was a lockdown in India. So you can imagine in this very short span, what was the scenario like for us to switch over from a traditional classroom to a virtual classroom. And here I would like to acknowledge the guidance given by our executive dean, Dr. Laviraj Gupta sir, wherein he stepped in like an angel, crafted a program on development of e-content and teaching students synchronously as well as asynchronously, as rightly said by Professor Echo. So today, based on that learning which I've had from my colleagues and my seniors, let me take the opportunity to share the same with all of you here. And I look forward to your inputs in making this an engaging session. So let's be clear about our learning outcomes for today. Well, we are focusing on 4 learning outcomes. We'll be comparing the traditional classroom with the virtual classroom to understand what are the similarities and what are the differences between the two. Second, we'll try to arrive at a common understanding about the effective communication strategy for virtual teaching. Thirdly, we'll be giving you a hands-on experience on a very user-friendly platform that is the Wakelet. And finally, we'll be sharing some tips for mastering the art of virtual teaching. Are we good to go? Are we good to go? So Zoom gives you a reactions tab.
Yes,
You
yes,
can give me a
yes.
reaction.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. All right. All right. So coming to the first learning outcome. Uh, so as Raviji said, this is not going to be a telling session. This is going to be a session in which we will evolve. Right. So from here and now, I want, solicit, and request your participation. So we have all experienced the traditional brick and mortar classroom where we used to walk into our classes vis-a-vis the virtual online classes which we are taking from anywhere. So we have become the remote workers, right? Let's take a moment to reflect and recall our experiences and compare the two types of classes: traditional brick and mortar class versus online class on whichever platform you are taking it, whether it's Zoom or Google Meet or Cisco WebEx, whichever platform you are taking it. Let's reflect and recall what are the similarities between the two, what are the differences between the two, because our goal is to decide on the effective strategies for virtual teaching, right? So if this is the goal, it's important to understand how they compare. See, on the slide, you can see on the top, there is that traditional classroom where the teacher has entire class with him or her in one frame, all visible. So the teacher kind of, feels in charge. I am in charge of the class. And on the other side, you have the online class where the teacher and the taught are connected by one word. And what is that word that is connecting the teacher and the taught? What do you say? What is connecting us in an online teaching?
The internet,
The internet, the technology. Yes, you are very
Technology, with
right.
technology.
Yes, it's the correct technology which is connecting us. Now, my friends, technology is something very, very important. And it's important in both the classes, not just in the online class. You see, in your classrooms, you and I have been using the smart board, the projector, and everything. So, in the traditional classroom, also, we were dependent on the technology. In the online classroom, virtual classroom, also, technology is very important. So, I think the gadget through which we are teaching, be very, very ready, right? The internet that we have needs to be of a speed that can connect, right? And suppose all other measures of technology like our earphones, the things that we are using to run the classroom need to be ready with us. And I'm so glad that today it is technology that is connecting me in India to 500, I mean, such a large number. Let me say it's 202 right now. So 200 teachers in Indonesia. We are separated by thousands of kilometers, but we are connected by technology. So we owe it to you, boss. So the second point of comparison is the engagement. Again, engagement of the class can be low, can be moderate, can be high in both an online class as well as in a traditional class. Do you agree with me? It can be both ways
Yes,
in
agree.
both the classes,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
So then,
agree.
yeah, so this is a common factor that yes, technology engagement may be low, it may be moderate, or it may be high
On high.
in a traditional class as well as in a virtual class. So, where lies the difference? I guess the difference lies in the engagement meter. How do we assess that our students are engaged? Whereas in the traditional classroom, we can see the faces of the student and understand whether they are being bored or they are taking interest in the class. So the very fact that someone is leaning forward, nodding, making eye contact, taking notes, those gestures tell us that our class is going on effectively or otherwise, right? And however, in the virtual class, now you are some 200 people, but I cannot see you in one frame. I can see only those people who have switched on the webcam, and a few people are in my frame. So while they are nodding their heads, while they are giving me some response, I'm coming to know that I'm getting across to you. So there lies the challenge. But what are the solutions? Even in an online class, there are so many solutions to engage the students, and we'll be demonstrating those solutions right away. Okay, the third point of comparison is discipline. Now, whereas in a traditional classroom, the teacher is there to act as a facilitator, to act as a facilitator. And the teacher feels in charge again that I'm there to discipline my students. But in a virtual class, discipline is largely self discipline. It is for the student to get up and attend the class on time. It is for the student to dress up and be ready for the class. It's again for the student to create an ecosystem of how to sit, how to take notes. So we find on one hand, there are students who are lying in the couches and the beds, just getting up in the morning, not even brushing their teeth, and getting into the class. And on the other hand, we have students like this, the one you can see in the slide, who have taken charge of their learning. So, my friends, here is a question for you. How do you create that self discipline amongst the students? Anybody would like to unmute themselves and just share for a while?
Again, ma'am.
Pardon me, ma'am. Can you repeat?
Yeah,
Can you
please.
repeat again your question, ma'am?
So, my question is, as a teacher, how will you create that sense of self discipline amongst your students?
When we are getting the virtual. So
We can make
usually
virtual rules.
Yeah, by setting up rule or standard SOP.
Sorry, please come again.
I think we can make virtual classroom rules, ma'am, to make others disciplines so they know the rules and the consequences during the virtual class.
Oh, so very clear. So you are saying that we should make the norms, the rules very clear, that how do you attend my class? Fine.
Yeah, that's right.
Fine. And I think you also model that in your own behavior. You know, a teacher is a role model for the students, right? So the more that I am well dressed and ready for the class, the same the students are going to emulate. One. Two, if I reinforce the behavior of students who are already doing it, if I appreciate, hi, it's a pat for uh, Ramanujam, who's been very good. You know, you see him in the class, and this person is always well groomed to attend the class, right? So, giving a pat to the students who are following the rules is also, I think, we all practice, right? So, it's just a point that I wanted to reiterate, that I believe is the role of appreciation and motivation for our students. Because finally, the word of a teacher means a lot to the student. You know, they're going to tell their mom that, mommy, today the teacher appreciated me because I was well groomed, my hair was well done, so tomorrow I'm going to do it definitely again. All right, so the next point of comparison is distraction. See the distraction which is there. Now tell me, are there distractions in the traditional class also? When you have been teaching in the traditional class, still,
Yes.
are there distractions?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there are.
Yes.
Sure, yes.
Yes. So, what are those distractions?
Sometimes some students maybe teasing some of his friends, like that one.
Attention
Very true.
span,
Very true.
And the
Other
lack of
student.
the attention.
Very true. So, peer influence is there. So, if my friend sitting next to me is not listening to the teacher and the friend is inviting me to play a game, I
yeah,
also get influenced,
Yeah.
right? So, a lot of distraction.
yeah,
So, in schools, maybe the mobile phones might not be allowed, but in higher education, the students are carrying the mobile phones and the various gadgets. So,
yeah.
the Facebook is a distraction for them, the social media is a distraction for them, and psychological distractions also abound. Lot many distractions. Same is the case with the virtual class also, and the distractions become more, because more so that the teacher, you feel that you are not being watched, right? So the distractions become a bit more, because we feel we feel we are not being, the students feel that they are
We
not
will
being watched.
watch.
Watched. point of comparison is anonymity. You see, whether it is a traditional class or it is a virtual class, always there are some people who like to be anonymous. They don't like to be noticed, right? So in a
Right.
traditional class, they will sit at the back bench. And in a virtual class, they would not switch on their webcams. They would not like to be recognized. Sometimes they would even join the class with different names. A person A joining with the name of B. And you see, is this happening in physical class also? I don't know about school, but in higher education, yes, proxy is happening in the physical class also. So, anonymity, the children are children. They love, you know, kind to outsmart the teacher. Right.
Right.
Okay. So, what do you do when your students they act anonymous, when they try to hide? What do you actually do? Let me have a word from you.
Call
Yeah,
name
what-
by one, maybe.
Sorry?
Call name our student.
So you call your students, you
Yes,
try to
one
bring
by
them
one.
to the forefront. Yeah.
One by one.
Yeah, very true.
It depends
Maybe
on the size of the class also.
yes, very true. It depends on the size of the class. If you have a class like I'm having right now, 120 plus 200 plus, it might not be possible for us to recognize who is attentive, who is not attentive. So, my friends, till here, I would say the crux lies in making the students self motivated, right? So we need to one conclusion of this entire discussion could be that we need to make our students self motivated for their learning. Am I right?
That's right.
Ma'am.
Right,
Giving you
right.
motivation
So,
to be
yeah,
brave.
very true. So once they take charge of their learning, the story can go a lot more better, right? So, another point of comparison between the two classes is that in a virtual class, we have the advantage of collaborating with teachers, people from the industry, experts all across the world, and bringing them on the forum. So, we save on time, on money, and on energy, and we are able to collaborate a lot. So, anyone would like to share their experience of collaboration in the online mode? That, that you have been able to invite people from the outside world to conduct a part of your class or to share their ideas with the students. You see, just like we are doing right now,
Yes.
it is so much facilitated that we are
Yeah.
able to talk is only because of the virtual medium. We might have switched over to it due to certain pressing conditions, but it is now that we are realizing what a huge potential virtual teaching has got. And I'm sure, as Professor Rico said in the beginning, that in future we'd not like to abandon the online mode of learning even when everything is okay. We'd like to go into a blended mode of learning, right? So virtual classes, as you know, can be of two types. One is the synchronous and the other is the asynchronous. So, what is synchronous? As you know, that those are the online classes in which the teacher and the taught are online at the same time, like you and I are right now. Our class is a synchronous class. We are all here together discussing, presenting, quizzing, everything. Opposite to this, there can be asynchronous class. That is, the teacher, suppose we would have recorded this session and posted it to you, and you would have seen this session in your own time, right? That would be asynchronous. Just like many teachers who might have registered for this course but might not be able to attend it synchronously, right? So we can provide a recording of this session to them, and that would be an asynchronous class. So both have their pros and cons, right? For example, in the synchronous online classes, the advantage is right in front of you. You can clarify the things there and now. So you know that you are talking to people. It feels more like a real class because you have people in front of you, and you kind of come to know whether you are getting across to them or not. You can participate in real time discussions, right? And yes, still there is an advantage that you can attend this class from anywhere. You can communicate with the instructors. You can network with the instructors. That means even after this class, we can remain in communication with each other. On the other hand, the asynchronous class has its own advantage. That is, you can watch the class in your own time whenever it is convenient to you. You can collaborate in your own time. So, which one you would say, as per your experience, uh, you have had experience of synchronous classes also. You might have put some lectures, recorded the lectures, and given to the students also. Anyone would like to share the experience of synchronous teaching versus asynchronous teaching? Yes. I hope I'm going to listen from Ma'am Yusnidar.
Okay. In our school, actually, I'm teaching in elementary school. I give a synchronous online teaching by giving them some tests, and then I give the time, I give the schedule when to collect the task. About synchronous online classes, we have done one time the virtual meeting by Zoom. That's all. That's all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. So, do you believe that alongside the synchronous, the asynchronous part is also important? Can I have your answers in the chat box? What are the things that you can do in the asynchronous part?
Pardon?
I think we can do by giving some quiz or
Yes.
some other things to do other than we do
Game.
Zoom.
Game online.
Very true. You see, sometimes, and even most of the times, we talk about the important things in the class, and we want that the students should do some things on their own, in their own time, because our goal is they should take charge of their learning. If we want them to do this, we naturally give them some tasks to do, right? We might give them a quiz, we might give them a case, a reading material, we might give them an exercise, an assignment where they have to do something by experience. We might give them a task to make a presentation, right? Now, all the time, it's not possible to have everything in class, right? So, for example, I'll share an experience with you. I have about 70 students in my class, each class. So, I wanted to work on their presentation skills. But my classes I had in a whole semester, I had only 30 classes with them, right? In which I had to cover the syllabus also. I have to prepare them for so many things. So, how do I carve that time for presentation skills. What I did, I asked them to prepare a video of their presentation. So I gave them the guidelines. For example, this is going to be the topic. This is the format of presentation, the time duration, analysis part. So after giving them the common guidelines, I asked them to prepare the video and upload it on a Wakelet. So Wakelet is a platform that we are going to share with you also. We are going to demonstrate that platform to you also today. So that saved my class time, and I could also help my students develop the presentation skills, and I could give them individual feedback to each and every student. I could watch their video in my own time and give them individual feedback on my university's, lovely professional universities, LMS, the Learning Management System. So this is quiz time now. I have a question for you. The question is right in front of you on the screen. I'll read it out. Which of the following is synchronous form of virtual learning? Please do not respond in the chat box. There will be a poll for you. You respond in the poll which will come on your screen. Yeah. आराम से कर लो. बैठ के कर लो. Just allow us to put the poll for you.
Which of the is synchronous?
Where's Paul?
B.
E, ma'am.
Yes, B.
B.
B is the best answer.
Hanji?
B. B.
B. Live online
B,
class
ma'am.
on Zoom.
The answer is B. Bravo, ma'am. It's B.
B.
All right.
It's the poll.
So I think there is some technology issue because of which the poll
Yeah,
is not
the
working.
poll
You
didn't.
can answer in the chat
Live
box.
online class on Zoom.
Yes. So which is the synchronous form of virtual teaching?
Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
Online class on Zoom.
Now the poll is also in
Okay,
front
okay.
of you. You
Oh,
can
I
give
got
the
it.
answer. It'll come to us.
Submit.
I've
B.
answered mine. All right. So definitely, it was a simple recap of what we've already discussed.
Yes.
The second question.
Yes.
Yeah, so yes, you're all. Wow, what a result.
Wow.
97% of our participants given
97.1%.
the correct
The
answer.
best strategy for
Yes, I got
online
the
class.
correct answer.
Great. So moving on to the next question.
Wow, my.
For next question.
Still loading.
Can you put the next
Okay.
question also?
Oh,
Okay.
Next
This
question.
is the previous.
The same quiz.
the same question.
Same questions.
The first question.
Should we answer it?
We must answer it.
Yeah,
ma'am?
you've already answered it. That is fine. Which is fine. So somehow my screen has frozen.
Yeah, because slideshow is
Yes,
because of the
technology.
weather,
Technology
maybe.
has to be with
Yeah,
us.
technology.
technology.
Yeah. So you have
Okay.
the next question with you. Which is your most preferred tactic of assessing student engagement in a virtual class? Now, you all will have different preferences. My question is, which is your most preferred tactic of assessing student engagement in a virtual class? Do you prefer to conduct a quiz in between the lesson, just like we conducted? Or do you prefer to ask students to share their webcam? You prefer to invite students to read the text, or you prefer to share the virtual whiteboard with them? You might be doing a combination of these things, but which
Yeah,
is
that's right.
your most preferred tactic? Which is the one you do most often to assess whether your students are psychologically engaged with you or not?
Invite
Give me
students.
the
Quiz
answer
between
on the
you.
poll and press the submit button.
Already, ma'am.
Yeah.
My answer is
Yeah,
B.
let everybody answer. It's a collaborative learning. We'll wait for everybody to answer.
This is a tricky question.
Quatra sir, do you
Hands-on
have everybody's
strategy.
response? Okay, 45% people have already responded. We are waiting for the rest to respond. If you, yeah, quickly, you may decide your answer very quickly.
I did.
All right, you've done it. Fine. I think, Quatra, we can publish the results.
Yeah.
Conduct question back to the
Yes.
lesson.
Conduct a quiz is between the
Oh,
lessons.
so the
We get
most
the same.
popular is the quiz. 51% of the
The most
participants
answer
prefer to conduct a
Yes.
for the
quiz.
question between the lesson. Yes.
Yeah, 25% ask the student to share the webcam. 13%
Depends.
would invite them to read the text, and 10% would share the virtual whiteboard. So we respect curiosity. Preferences can be different. Nothing right or wrong about it. All right. Just a second, please. My screen has again frozen.
Please mute.
Okay. Coming on to the second learning outcome, that is the communication strategy for effective virtual teaching. Now that we have compared the physical traditional classroom with virtual classroom, let us come to the communication strategies. And I'd like to share with you a case study which was actually done amongst the teachers in a school. And incidentally, they were the English teachers who did this case study. Look at what they did. A group of teachers, they met as a team to set the goals and to collaboratively design a lesson. Say 6 of us teaching English, and we got together, we designed a lesson collaboratively together. Then one teacher, say Ma'am Yusnidar, she takes the initiative to teach, that I'll teach this lesson, and the other teachers, they
Yes.
observe. That means they are acting as students. So after the lesson, the entire group meet again and they share the feedback that, Ma'am Yusnidar, these were the strengths of your lecture. These were the things that we really enjoyed learning in your lecture. So they will give observations on her content, on her way of teaching, and the way she took feedback from the students, the way she engaged the students. And they will also, we'll not just talk about the goody things, we'll also talk about the improvements. So they gave some feedback that, these were the things that could have been improved further, right? So the next time, Ma'am Yosnada teaches the same group of teachers again with a different,
Yeah, we have
a bit
we had
different.
we have a group like that for SMP. We call SMP is MGMK. That we are in elementary school. We have KKG for sharing teachers' competence in giving any other lesson or knowledge.
You see, friends, in this entire case study, what have they done? They have done, they have adopted a communication strategy, which is the Deming cycle. It is famously known as the Deming cycle of quality improvement. They say plan, they design the lesson together, do, teach the lesson, check, take feedback from the listeners. It can be your peers, it can be your students. Take feedback and then act, improve upon the feedback. So I think this may not be a new idea to most of us. We might be aware that this is the great way of doing the things. But I think what it requires is implementation. How many of us actually act on the feedback that the students give us? Because feedback is a rich resource. Every time the student tells me that, Madam, you need to, help us more in this direction. If you could change this part, we would learn better. So if I keep my antennas open, if I take that feedback positively, for sure, I can increase the effectiveness of my teaching, whether it is a brick and mortar classroom or it is a online classroom. So I think feedback is a rich resource of improvement. So taking the things further, when we talk about a communication strategy, especially in virtual teaching, sometimes there are a lot of confusions regarding how will this course be taught to us. So in this regard, what we generally do as teachers at Lovely Professional University is that at the beginning of a course, we take one lecture which is called the zero lecture. Why zero? Because in this lecture, we we tell the students regarding what is the objective of this course, what is the syllabus, how this course will be taught to you, how you will be assessed, right? So they are clear about what is going to happen to them. We also tell them that you can reach me out at this link. We have an app called LPU Live app on which the students can contact the teacher. It's just like our local WhatsApp. So they can send messages to us. We can respond to them. We can even upload the resources for them, the cases, the reading material, we can upload to them in that app. So the university has provided us this resource to get in touch with our students, because communication, continuous communication, I believe, is the key for effective online teaching. The students should feel that you are there when they need you. Well, it's very important to relay clear and concise messages. Sometimes less is more. Less words, but powerful words can be more. And to be clear, let us have a visual appeal in our lessons. Let us craft our lessons with a visual appeal that they can see what is written. And let us check that the students receive our messages and we respond to them on time. So, to sum up the second learning outcome, I will present this chart in front of you, which is quite self explanatory. It is the essence of what I have said so far. You see, the essential component of effective virtual teaching is interaction. We need to promote interaction. The second essential component is technical stability. Very important to have alternatives with you. If I'm teaching from my laptop, let me have my smartphone as a plan B. So if my laptop fails, I will log on through my smartphone. Right? So have alternatives. So if the internet of my mobile fails, I will switch on to my broadband. So let's have alternative of gadgets as well as alternative of the internet connection. Then scheduling. Let us schedule the lessons so that they are student friendly. See, in online lessons, in our university also, the maximum duration which we have kept is 50 minutes. In traditional classroom, we used to have 1 hour lesson. But online, since your concentration in an online lesson is for a shorter span of time, let us schedule the lecture for a shorter duration. The material which we are to teach, the planning of that material is very, very important. Just like it was important in a traditional classroom, also, similarly, rehearsal is very, very important in the virtual classroom. These were the essential components of communication strategy. Now, let us look at the teaching method. The teaching method, naturally, which you all have recognized, is active participation of the students, summarizing the things. For example, first of all, you identify the learning outcome, then at the end, summarize the thing. This is what you have learned today. Or allow the students to summarize for you. If time permits, I would have asked one of you to summarize the second learning outcome for me. But my time is not permitting that, so I'll not get into that. But I think you're all mature people and the idea is very clear to you. So we can draw attention by the use of humor, right? And my colleague will dwell more upon it when he will share the tips with you. And we can associate the things with real life, which I am sure that you as responsible teachers are bringing in real life examples to make your teaching interesting and effective. And we are giving such activities to our students that even if I'm an English teacher, but I may be giving some activities which are extracurricular, right? So that my student talks English, walks English, breathes English. So I may relate the subject English to the life of the student by involving the student in extracurricular activities and asking the student to report the experience in English language. And I'm sure you guys are doing it. It's just I got an opportunity to discuss these things with you, and I'm really feeling privileged to do that. With this, I pass on the baton to my colleague, Mr. Sarabjit Singh Kwatra, for hands-on experience of a user-friendly Wakelet platform. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
lesson.
you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Your
We
thank you
appreciate it.
have passed on to
Thank you,
Dr.
ma'am.
Sunaina.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. We move on to the last
Thank
leg
Thank you,
of
ma'am.
kindly please mute yourself. So like Opa and Ibu, we have a little time with us. So let us try to make the best of that. First of
Noted,
all,
sir.
let me bow down to all the wonderful gurus. I say India and Indonesia have many things in common. Even beginning from the name, the first 3 letters of India and Indonesia are the same. In India, we value traditional. Of course, we are spiritual. We do a lot of praying, and I believe Indonesia also believes in the same philosophy. In India, we believe that gurus are the people who should be held in the highest of esteem, and I believe Indonesia also believes the same. And one thing which again I would like to say, I bow in respect to the esteemed community of these wonderful teachers. In your language, let me try. Saya menghormati komunitas terhormat Dari para guru yang luar biasa. I hope my pronunciation is correct.
Yes,
Let
correct.
us move on.
Sir.
How many
Very
of
good.
you?
Good
How many of
accent.
you have heard of this platform, the Wakelet platform? Can you just quickly put down in the chat box?
Never heard it.
Okay. Now, many of us are saying that they have not heard of it. What I would want you to do is quickly copy this URL and try to log in. https://wakelet.com. Copy this, please. Have you done that?
Already, sir.
Okay. Now, there was a talk that communication with my students has to be clear, concise, and of course, engaging. Second question which came in mind was, now, how do I actually engage them when we are not directly in contact? The third question which came up was, we were talking about the synchronous and the asynchronous classes. Now, this is a platform which is a free platform. It is a platform, a tool which is very, very user-friendly. It is a platform where we as teachers can save, organize, reorder at one platform and share it with my students and also ask them to collaborate. So this is an effort. I believe the more you explore this, you would find it very user-friendly and almost ready to use. Have you all logged on? So, well, this is what the home page would look like when you log in. The first thing that is required to be done is you have to sign up. There are various ways to sign up. You could do it through your email, you could do it through Facebook, you could do it through the Google. So once you sign up, it just asks brief things, very pertinent but very normal particulars about you, and you reach the page and it is almost free. When you go there, you can see on the screen, is my screen visible? Okay, so you can see for educators, if you click on that, and once you click on the educators, you would find that it is free, and also there would be a file of e-educators, Wakelet educators guide. So you can download that also. Now, simple is, once you have completed the registration formalities, you have signed up for that, you can see you just need to go to the home page and it will ask you, create collection. So first thing you can do is say yes to it without any hesitation. Let me tell you, there are no strings attached to it. There is no cost attached to it. And yet it is one of the most integrated of the platforms to share, organize, save, and share the knowledge and information. And also, we were just in the first session, we were talking about, supposing I have a questionnaire to share with my students. I have a video to be shared with shown to my students. I have an assignment to be given to my students. I want to give some reading reference material to my students. I have certain bookmarks which I want my students to study at their own pace and space. I have an image that I would want to say. So all these things can be done at this very platform. So you go to the create collection platform, and there are various ways you can do. If you have a URL, its first link, if you can see, is of the URL. You can copy and paste that link there. You have some text to be added. You just need to click on add text and there will be a space there for you to copy paste the text or even type the text. You have a video link, YouTube link to be shared. You can just go to the tab number 3, YouTube, copy the link there, and you can search it there, and you would find the link that you want right displayed there. All you need to do is say add, and it comes to the collection. You are a Twitter, you use Twitter handle to communicate. Your tweets can directly be saved and placed on this collection. Certain bookmarks we were talking about. So all these things. This very presentation, there were questions in the chat box I was looking at, Ibu and Pa, that you wanted the presentation of today. Now what we are going to do is, we are going to upload this presentation in the PDF form by the end of the day. And when we share this link of this collection with you, you can have access to everything on one single platform. You have something to be shared in the Google Drive, you can do it. You have something to share on the OneDrive, whichever you use, it can be shared there. You have a fliplet video that you want to share, you can put it there right on this platform. So this is the simplicity and wonderful thing of this. Now the second question, I will actually take you live on that also. I will show it on the screen. But let me just share with you, how can I share this collection with others? You see, there are 3 modes, and I would be candid to admit my first collection was totally done but kept private to me. I did not have the heart to share it with others. So you can have that, but only if you want to see it. Can I please request you please mute yourself? So if you want to just see whether you have made a collection as per your concept, does it have all the things that you want to put? Do you want to reorient it, re-go through it? Does it have the PPT that we were talking about? Does it have the YouTube link that I was trying to share? Does it have the question that I had prepared? Does it have the bookmark references that I wanted to share as a reading material with my colleague or with my students? So keep it private. Now, but you have all the authority. There are 2 more ways to share this collection with others. You just have to go on the screen you are here. You can see it's change visibility. Once you click on that, the drop down will come down and it has 2 more. One says public, the other says unlisted. Unlisted means that if you have a Google Classroom, you can share this link with Google Classroom, and only the students who have registered for the Google Classroom or your class would get an access to that. Same for the Facebook and all. And also, if you want just a few people, a particular set of people or students to have an access to this collection, you just tick on the tab unlisted. Unlisted means only people with the link can see this collection. And if you want the entire world to have an access to your wisdom and knowledge, please share your pearls of wisdom by clicking on the public. So these are the 3 ways of sharing this collection. And now, when I was talking about sharing it as an unlisted, so when you click on the unlisted, you can see this tab. If you can visualize on the screen, share your collection with others. And there are various ways to share. You have a QR code that can be shared, and anyone who has an access to that QR code can see this collection. You have a Google Classroom, you have a Microsoft Team, Twitter, all the other things, Facebook. So all you need is you have to copy. When you say share this collection, there is a tab here which says copy. You can copy this link and you can mail it to those people. You can even post it in the chat box, post it in any interaction communication that you are doing. And these people who have this link can have an access to this. Isn't it simple? Now, the teachers all over the world have been using this Wakelet for various things. They are designing their classroom newsletters on this. They are documenting their professional documents or development credentials here. They are collecting the resources. They are using Wakelet as an interactive lesson. They are using it as their lesson planning. Dr. Sunena was talking about the collaborative effort of that PDCA. This is the way you do it, and you can give access to others so that they can also collaborate. And also in research also the similar thing can be. So these are various things that you can use. And now let me quickly take you to the portal itself. If you can just allow me. Let me stop share this. Let me share the Wakelet.
Sir, can we just request you to speak little slowly, sir, just to make sure everyone understands, sir? Thank you.
Yes, sir. Sure. Thank you. Am I loud enough, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
I'll be slow enough now, sir. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Okay. Now let me share platform with you. So is the Wakelet platform visible?
Yes, sir.
Now you see, this is a collection where we can add an image to have that aesthetic appeal that we were talking about. You can see there the course is mentioned, the objective is mentioned, and you can also put down the link of any YouTube. For example, this was a study in India experience that we will be showing you tomorrow. This is a video link that we have a student had designed, scripted, and again recorded a Verto song, which Verto means change makers. And so this is again something which reflects the infrastructure of lovely Professor University, the culture, the facilities around, and the vibrancy that is much required for an ideal education environment. I do not have that time, but she is talking about LPU and the LPU culture and how LPU education system and the environment has made a difference in her life. And there are many more such, but I have put them right there. So this is what I have loaded, a Wakelet ebook, where what I'm saying, like Ravi sir mentioned, that maybe I am too fast, you could not grasp it. Maybe there is a connectivity issue at your end, you could not pick it up. Maybe there was some other distraction, but I want you to have this. This is that asynchronous part that Dr. Sunena was also talking about. So the entire Wakelet ebook is there for you to go through it and design, log in, and design your own collection and share it. Now, this is something which I would actually want to show it to you now. So do you allow me to show this video to them, sir? Why? Because it is a story of a teacher. Teacher who made a difference in the lives, and I'm sure all my Ibu and Bapa, wonderful guru, sitting here watching this interaction are the people who have some point of time for someone in the life, for some students have made a difference. So I want you to have your own reflection when you watch this video.
Sarabjit sir, I'll just make one important point, sir. Here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Bapa Ibu, just to inform you all, the Wakelet is the application which has been introduced by LPU by Sarabjit sir. Now, please remember, Bapa Ibu, you all need to start using Wakelet. As mentioned to you all before, Bapa Ibu, this is not a webinar, but it is a workshop. So all of y'all we would request y'all to please make a Wakelet account. further instructions will follow. Karena Bapak Ibu nanti ada projectnya, ada assignment ya Bapak Ibu, karena sesuai diskusi dengan beberapa pihak dari beberapa provinsi untuk webinar dan workshop itu harus ada 32 jam ya Bapak Ibu. Jadi bisa dapat sertifikasi dengan 32 jam. Jadi untuk itu webinar ini bukan cuma ada sesi yang webinarnya, tapi ada workshop. Dan nanti Bapak Ibu workshopnya kita nanti kita pakai workshopnya pakai yang Wakelet. So we will be using the Wakelet Bapak Ibu. So I request you all to please look into it, and for any questions you all can definitely ask us. Thank you. Yes sir, please.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
sir.
How did you like this?
Good story, yeah.
Touchy.
It
I'm
moves.
sure
So touchy.
It moves
many
me,
of
sir.
us have seen our own reflection in this video. Now I have a question to ask to each one of you. Please again, do not mind my pronunciation. Ravi sir is there to correct me. Apakah anda seorang guru berdasarkan profesi? Are you a teacher by profession? You can write it there. The second question I want you to answer is, apakah anda seorang guru karina garya? Are you a teacher by passion? I would want you to answer in the chat box. Do you think you are a teacher by profession, or do you think you are a teacher by passion? I can see many of you writing and saying, and majority of the thing, they say that, yes, I'm a teacher by passion. But let me tell you, my gurus and esteemed teachers, it is a time when we have to not just be a teacher by profession. It is the passion which keeps the sustenance, keeps your learning buds open, and also gives the communication connect to the students that you are trying to communicate with. I'm reminded of a saying by John Maxwell. He says, we are communicating all the time, but rarely we are able to connect. So connecting is more important because only that makes the communication complete. But then how can we make that connection? He was talking about thoughts. First way to communicate is what you have, because thoughts are what we have. The second is emotions. We show the feelings. The third is action, what we do. All these three are very, very important to make our communication convincing, full of conviction, passion, and also credibility. But in today's world, some of you answered the question that you are a teacher by profession. I absolutely agree with them, but with a difference, because the new word for a competent, connected teacher is to be a professional, not just a professional and not just full of passion. There is a fourth element of communication attached to the circumstances of the day. The fourth pillar is the technology. So your thoughts, your feelings, emotions, your actions, and the technology. These four are the pillars of the communication and to make the communication strategy effective. So ladies and gentlemen, these were some of the thoughts, and I would quickly like to request you, please. I'm going to put the Wakelet link there. How many of you would want the Wakelet link to be pasted there, please? All right.
Many of them have been asking that, sir.
Okay. So I am pasting the link in the chat box. So you can copy paste it there. And as you look at it, And like Ravi sir mentioned, there is an assignment for this short-term course, which all of us are expected to do. And one part of that assignment is you have to, there is a Google page also inscribed, embedded in this Wakelet collection, where you are expected to write 3 prominent learning messages. And every message that this video gave us, and every message should be between 50 to 150 words. We do not, we are very flexible on that, but this is the first part of the assignment that all of us are expected to complete.
Okay, 1 minute again.
Yes, I would repeat, sir. I have pasted the link of the Wakelet collection. You can copy it and you can have an access. All you need is when you click on this URL, it will ask you for your name. Even if you have not signed up for the Wakelet by that time, you can still have an access to this collection of today's session that was shared with each one of you. You can have a look at all the things that are kept there. This video that was shown to you is also embedded there. You can, if you want to have a relook at that, replay the video at your own pace and space and answer. Write 3 learning messages that this video gave us. And that also, the link of the Google form where you have to put your thoughts is also been shared in this section that was shared. So these are some of the things, some of the final thoughts of the day. Some of the ways where we were talking about the physical, the physical proximity being missing in the virtual classroom. But when you show your face, that gives the assurance. But let me tell you, your face should carry vibrancy. It should be full of energy, animation, and that smile that Indrajit or Ikusa was talking about in the beginning address, that has to be shown. The videos, lots of time, the faculty have a habit of showing the videos. First of all, they should be relevant videos. Second, the videos duration should be short, because even the longer duration video cannot sustain the attention span of these students. Third point, which again was iterated by, and I would reiterate, which was said by Dr. Sanana in her earlier slides, we have to keep in mind that the text of my slides should be visible, because I do not know what is the connectivity or what is the device that my student at the other end is having at his disposal. So smartphones have a smarter screen. So you can test down the basic formula of presentation of making of slides is the 6x6 formula. 6 lines in a slide and 6 words in a slide. Add visual to give your thoughts. Do not put the entire lecture there. When I said, when you make your Wakelet collection, the entire lecture can be shared with the students by making the PDF format of that and uploading it on the collection. Use open access of resources. Since there are lots of infringements of IPR and copyright issues involved, Wakelet does one thing. Since we are just copying the link and pasting it there, and it is being played from the source itself, whether it's a bookmark, a URL, a YouTube link, it would be given, credit would be to the person from whose URL this is open. So this is one better way of having an access to open resources without any fear of infringement of the copyright. Interactive activities, I'm sure these are some of the things which you already are doing. Sir talked about Ibu, Aiku sir was toppers, Papa Indrajit sir was talking about using names. Names is one of the most prized possession for any individual. And we call them by name, engagement has to be there. That connection would automatically be there. When you talk about self-disclosure, sometimes I've seen the faculty, they have their video on the hide mode. So disclosure is again somewhere which will give you leverage to have an access to your students. Some off-the-cuff chat, informal. be your normal self, because there is a distance now involved. So physical proximity is not there. So they may have seen the teacher in some different mode when they were actually face to face, and they would see the teacher in a different mode. Probably many of us in the beginning, when we are using this online platforms, we are very camera conscious. We really don't know where to look, what to, we have this kind of the fear of unknown or fear of being captured at the wrong moments. So be your normal self. Emotions, I've already talked about, John Maxwell already talked about emotions. So use a lot of aesthetic GIFs and emojis. Of course, you all are language teachers, so I didn't talk about the proper language and the grammar, but definitely one thing which we would like to talk about is the punctuation in the presentation. When they look at you, they should be able to visualize what you are saying. And when they hear you, they should be able to complete that picture that you are trying to create. So pauses, emphasis, modulation, and thank you, Ravi sir, for reminding me of the pace of speech. This is very, very important. So is the pitch, because it may be quite audible at my point, a reference source point, but it may not be audible at the receiver's end. So communication says my pitch should be the way it is received by the receiver. Some few skills, again, I would just quickly go through it, because these are some of the things which you are doing it. That is why you are a teacher, and a teacher par excellence. Patience, attentiveness, clarity in communication, subject matter knowledge, positive language, and I would say positive digital body language also, because we are now not talking about the body language, we are talking about the digital body language. So each word that is reflected there through your PowerPoint or through your verbal or through your body actions should be able to communicate the positivity. Emotions, again, John Maxwell. Time management skills, we are running short of time. That reminds me, I'm going to rush through it. Ability to read the pulse of the say. Dr. Sunena was talking about the engagement meter. Now we will have a practical demonstration of the engagement meter on day 3. Dr. Laviraj Gupta sir is preparing a wonderful concept on that way, where you could be able to read the students' attention, retention, and also active participation. Calming presence, objective, we have these outcome defines learning outcomes of any lesson that we talk, any course that we are teaching. So we should be clear about that, focusing all the time to that. All my examples should be focused on that. And sometimes, say ability, there may be a surprise question. You never know. Persons hundreds of miles away, they throw a question which may throw you off balance. So you should be able to, maybe a question which you do not have an answer to you, maybe an off-the-cuff question. So that ability to handle these surprises, we need to accumulate. Persuading, of course, definitely students with so much kind of a distraction and other better things they say they have to do rather than attend the classes. So you should be able to pursue them, and every effort of yours is not going to deliver results. So determination and tenacity is a skill that really makes a difference. And finally, the ability, the closing ability. Once you are able to relate what you are saying with what is in it for me from the point of view of the learner, that is the closing ability that we are talking about. That would make sense. That would make it feel the student at the other end. And last but not the least, my philosophy, personal philosophy says learning never stops. That willingness, that urge to learn, I'm sure is one essential ingredient of anyone who is there taking the teaching as a profession or as a passion. So finally, summing up, find out ways to grab the attention. Some of the ways, create that interest by always focusing on the question from the point of view of the learner. What is it in for me? Arousing the desire, talking about the relevance, the strengths, the practical outcomes, and using the real-time examples so that that desire is not just arisen, just need not to arouse the desire, but also that should not be doused. It should be ignited. That spark should be there for sustainable time. And finally, define the action. Very, very important, because once they know, they have that motivation, that inspiration, they have the interest, you have sustained their attention. All they need is the way, the step, the process. So that is equally important. And finally, we already saw this, and I would just like to again throw a final thought for each one of you with this wonderful quote that says, education is not a name of any degree or certificate that can be shown to others as a proof. Education is the name of our attitude, our actions, language, our behavior with others in real life. So this is the essence of true education. And I, as a teacher, should be able to communicate this. So this is the final part of the assignment, which we've already shared, and we will share the rest of it in tomorrow morning. So for day one, the assignment is whatever you watched in that video that we talked about, the story of an inspirational teacher. 3 essential messages are to be uploaded on the Google form that has been shared with each one of you through the Wakelet collection. And finally, again, I would like to request each one of you, do you have that link? So that link is there. And once again, I would like to.
So I'll share the link again, sir, in the group. I'll share that again, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay. Please do share that.
Yeah.
And my request, I believe all of you have marked your attendance in the link that was shared. And the second feedback form, Mr. Ravi would be sharing with you. So you're requested to please give the feedback there also, like again desired by Bapa IQ, and of course mentioned by Papa Ravi Makhija sir, that this is not just a webinar. Ibu and Bapa, I'm again requesting with folded hand, this is a self-exploratory, self-learning journey. For that, we have to put in some efforts. Yes, the certificate that would be issued would have to be earned. My humble request and submission, and I hand it back to Ravi sir for final closing formalities. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Bapak Ibu, on behalf of all the teachers, on behalf of everyone in Indonesia, thank you so much, Sarabjit sir. Thank you so much, Dr. Sunaina. Thank you so much to LPU management for the support. Bapak Ibu, just to inform you all regarding the assignment, as sir just mentioned, the first assignment is you need to first download Wakelet and make a Wakelet account. That is step number 1. Step number 2 is the link which is there. I will share again the link in the WhatsApp group. You'll need to look at that link. And I understand there are 4 videos there, but you'll need to look at the video which was played earlier today. Yang diputar tadi ya Bapak Ibu. So we just look at that video, and there is a Google form which you'll need to answer the questions mentioned in the Google form. That's your assignment number 1, Bapak Ibu, right? So that is the assignment number 1. The other details, I'll follow it up, with all of you all in the WhatsApp group. I understand it is raining, it is lightning in certain parts of Indonesia, so please be careful. So again, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for your active participation. We look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow, ya Bapak Ibu. Tomorrow, same time, we will have the webinar session number 2. Right, so thank you so much. Please take care, and we look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Please take care.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Terima kasih. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, sir.
Terima kasih.
Good evening, everyone. See you.
Everyone, good evening.
Hati-hati ya Bapak Ibu. Terima kasih banyak, dan jaga kesehatan Bapak Ibu. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Hati-hati.
Thank you, Mr. Ravi and all of the committee. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye,
sir.
everyone.
Bye, everyone. Okay, bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Everyone, Assalamualaikum. See you
Yeah,
tomorrow.
thank you so much. Thanks, Dr. Sunena, ma'am. Thank you so much. Sarabjit, sir, thank you, sir. So sorry, I'll log off because I have another one meeting. I'll just come back to you again in some time, if you don't mind.
Thank you so much. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
In the past time,
See you.
why you take this
Thank you,
case.
sir.
I'm afraid that
Thank
so
you,
for the
sir.
chapter program, you need to give giving more theories here. For example, like about the modernization. So the theory of this. So what is modernization is, what when it's happened. It's happened because during the age of enlightenment, or is it because it happened during the innovations first, or inventions how it started in the society. So I think things you need to giving more giving some additional information about what is modernization is.
Yeah, terima kasih ya Bapak Ibu.
Why
Thank you so
modernization
much.
is
Selamat
working
sore.
better. Do you think modernization is
Selamat
working?
sore.
Okay.